Hey, it's Newtsy, and today we're going to talk about an electrolyte drink that you can make at home for a fraction of a cost, a homespun recipe featuring apple cider vinegar, or oftentimes it's referred to as ACV. And so I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version of why you would want to make this drink, and then I will list below if you want to do a deep dive like I've done. And then I have an easy peasy recipe for you, so let's get right into this electrolyte drink made with apple cider vinegar. Without going into too much detail and diving too deep into the weeds, I want to get to the punchline. Apple cider vinegar, or ACV, is a type of fatty acid. It's acetate acid. And so what does that have to do with the health of our body? Well, what's so fascinating is it actually is fuel for our colon cells. And how many of us know we want to keep our colon in working order? You don't appreciate it until it is not in working order. So we have good and bad bacteria throughout our whole digestive tract, actually from our mouth all the way down to our rectum, and there's always this balance or this fight going on. So ACV is really beneficial at marshaling or keeping bacteria in line, and bacteria hates acid and it loves sugar. So that's why it's really helpful with this whole balance that the body is trying to keep. But it is also anti-inflammation or anti-flames, but you don't want to shoot it straight because it could irritate the gut lining. That's why we're going to go over this recipe that's really easy and it's really tasty, but it isn't nutritious, so to speak. So why do we want to focus on apple cider vinegar then? There's a huge misunderstanding of alkaline and acidity that has been around for a really long time with people testing their saliva and their urine. And what they're finding now is that, we're not just at 7.4 or neutral everywhere in the body. Our digestive tract, especially our stomach, is full of hydrochloric acid, or HCA. And apple cider vinegar is really helpful at giving the hydrochloric acid a little boost and making it more efficient at its job. When we get acid indigestion, many times it's because we don't have enough acid or hydrochloric acid in our gut, and so it begins to bubble up and we get heartburn and acid indigestion. So by drinking this drink, you're really going to help the gut digest. And I don't know if you know this or not, but it doesn't matter how good you're eating if you can't turn it into living tissue or absorb the minerals. It doesn't matter. And so apple cider vinegar helps the absorption of minerals. And we all hear a lot about leaky gut right now. And so ACV is very helpful with leaky gut. And if you don't know what that means, it just means your belly, your gut, has poor boundaries. Good stuff leaks out, bad stuff leaks in. Acetate acid, or what's in apple cider vinegar, has shown to lessen body fat on the body. And it doesn't do it by some kind of magic effect that it has on belly fat, although who doesn't want less belly fat? What it does do is it helps with insulin sensitivity, which is directly related to storing fat on the belly, as well as diabetes. It will also help control the lipids in the body and fatty liver, but it also decreases appetite. But it is anti-cancer. It helps the control of candida, meaning it won't let candida proliferate or overgrow. But what's really interesting, another really interesting fact, is there is some procedures that they do on cancerous tumors where they inject acetate acid directly into the tumor. So it really is such a benefit to the body. And also it helps reduce gas and bloating. And how gas and bloating happens is when half-digested food passes through the pyloric valve and gets into the small intestines, and then that food has to break down by either putrefaction or rotting, and that's where we get all that gas and bloating. So apple cider vinegar really helps control all of that. Electrolyte drinks are everywhere. You can't go in any store without seeing potions and powders and packets of all sizes trying to entice you to rehydrate. Well, the old school ones are like Gatorade and Powerade, and it's just really become in vogue to buy these rehydrators. And they are based on a principle that when we do a really hard workout we need post workout hydration, because we have the sodium potassium pump in our body that needs to maintain a delicate balance. And when it gets out of whack, we can feel tired and fatigued and even depressed, and it even can cause heart palpitations or mimic you feeling like you're having a heart attack. The problem is that they have a lot of added sugars, many of them. And a heavy sugar diet causes problems with your insulin, and it causes you to be dehydrated. So these rehydrators, these aids, these potions and powders are actually having the opposite effect of what you want, because they are causing you to ingest sugar all day long, which is a dehydrator. On to the recipe for the electrolyte drink featuring apple cider vinegar. It's super easy and very inexpensive. You need apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon, and you want to make sure that it is raw, unfiltered, unpasteurized, organic apple cider vinegar with the mother. I think Bragg's is a really good brand, but just any of them that are raw, unfiltered, unpasteurized. And what that means with the mother, it just means that they have some sediment in there because they have fermented an apple and they haven't filtered it and messed with it so much. And so it has the same amount of acid as white vinegar, but it has more enzymes in it. So you're gonna use 1 tablespoon, and then we're gonna add a half of a squeezed lemon, hopefully organic, into our glass. And I love this guy. You can tell by the shape of it, it has been well used and well loved. And so you're gonna squeeze that into a glass. And the reason we're gonna use lemon, not only does it make it taste delicious, but it is full of vitamin C. It's great for heart health, and it also is antimicrobial and antifungal. And then add stevia to taste. I really like the sweet leaf stevia and monk fruit, because not only does it not taste bitter, but monk fruit is really great in feeding the good bacteria or the good gut buddies. So add stevia to taste. Unless you don't want to, then of course you don't have to. I would stay away from honey for this because you're trying to keep your blood sugar level low. And so I think stevia is a better option. And then we're gonna add a dash of cinnamon. Want to make sure that it is Ceylon organic cinnamon, because a lot of the cinnamon that you'll just find at the dollar store, at Walmart, that is not organic Ceylon is fake cinnamon. It's not really even cinnamon. But the reason we're going to use cinnamon, it has a ton of nutrients in it. So just to list a few, it has manganese, it has vitamin K and calcium and iron, it has zinc. It also has properties of reducing clotting. It reduces blood sugar level. It's great for the heart, and it's also good for blood circulation. And instead of water, I like to use San Pellegrino or Gerolsteiner. I just like the sodium bicarbonate, and then it kind of makes it feel like a fancy schmancy drink. I just put it in a glass, and then if you're eating protein, this is also really helpful in the digestion of protein, just to mention a few things that it does. So cheers. I hope you enjoy it. I would love to hear from you if there are recipes that you have that you really like that you're including apple cider vinegar. Please reach out, and I would love to connect to you anyway. So I hope that you found this helpful, and I hope until next time you'll be blessed. Bye.